Warning. This one is going to upset some people. This one is probably, it's probably going to trigger you. It's probably going to say some things that, are going to upset you and make you feel uncomfortable. And all I can say on that one is fucking good. Sometimes that is what's required. But we need to end this woe is me, my life's so hard, nothing ever works out for me mentality. This victimhood mentality. You're not a fucking victim. You have choices in this. And look, I know for a fact that there are some people who will argue the extremes. I'm talking in general here. But the amount of people who continue to stay stuck, who continue to stay in a situation that they are unhappy about, when they have the answers, makes it a definitive choice. You are not a victim. You are not suffering through your circumstances. You have decided that you want to stay where you are. And that's not to say that it'll be easy. That's not to say that it won't take work and effort and you'll be challenged and you'll be uncomfortable. All of those things are still true. But if you know the answer and you choose not to undertake some form of action, then, that's on you. And I'm so sick of people constantly being like, woe is my life, without actually doing something about it. I got into this with a family member this week. And I firmly believe that the highest form of love is holding people to a standard. Is being honest and not placating them, not agreeing with them and allowing them to continue to play out this victimhood mentality. I firmly believe that if you love someone, you'll tell them the truth. You'll hold them accountable to the standard. You'll make sure that they rise and, demand greatness of themselves in whatever version or format that might be. And I'd had enough with this family member. Because they're like, oh, woe is me, all of this is really hard, and this sucks, and I'm in pain, and I'm suffering. And I was just like, let's fix it then. I could have fixed this for you 5 years ago. I could have fixed this for you 3 years ago. I could fix this for you right here, right now. And we got into it, and they got upset, and they got offended, and they got pissed off about the whole situation. And the critical point of this whole one for me was when they said to me, well, it's not like you said anything I didn't know, you just said it really meanly. Well, that's fucking worse. That means that you have chosen to be a victim. You have chosen to stay stuck. You have chosen to stay in this situation that you fucking hate. You chose to suffer because you know the answer. And no, as I said at the start, no, it's not easy. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will require effort and time and money and investment and sacrifice to get to a better fucking life. Or you could stay stuck as a victim. And they got shitty and they got pissed off and they want to stay in their woe is me victimhood. So I let them be. Because I will not tolerate it. I just won't. I won't tolerate people who refuse to help themselves. I'm not going to be part of that. So if you want to do better, if you want a better life, and you've got a problem, I will solve it for you. I will come in and I will fucking solve it. But if you just want to have a whinge about how bad your life is, I am not here for that. You can go find someone else who's going to placate you. And in my honest opinion, who doesn't actually care enough about you. Because as I said, the highest form of love is the willingness to tell you the hard truths. The willingness to stand up and be like, this is what you need. This is what is required. And to bear the brunt of the rage, the sadness, whatever will come from that. Because they love you enough to tell you the honest to God truth. That's what I firmly believe. And most people aren't willing to do that. They aren't willing to show that kind of love because it's fucking uncomfortable. But I think that applies to everything. I think that applies to friends, to family, to someone you're coaching, someone you're working with, all of those kinds of things. If you truly care, you are not going to let them off the hook if they're not doing what's required. Because that is then a choice. Once you have the knowledge to know how to change, and you choose not to, you choose to stay in that position and continue to whinge about how hard your life is, you have chosen to be a victim. You have chosen that life. And I can't see it any other way. And you need to, harden the fuck up. Have a cup of concrete and harden up and make the tough decision. As I said, change isn't easy. Change isn't going to be easy on this. It is going to require effort. It's going to require sacrifice. And I know that you're a busy man. I get that, You've got, if you're like me, you've got a business, you've got family, you've got responsibilities. Time is one of those things that is short. But we waste it. Boy, do we fucking waste it. We waste it on shit that doesn't matter. If you actually prioritized on your work as well, I think you'd find that you had a lot more time available. And then if you got into great fucking shape and you had more energy and you weren't knackered at the end of the day, or as knackered, you're still going to be tired. Let's be realistic. If you're a driven man, you're a hard-working man, yeah, you're still going to be fucking tired at the end of the day, but you'll be less so. Because you will have looked after your health first. You will have created the energy. You will have created the thing. You will have gone out and done the stuff that creates, change and success. You'll build that discipline. You'll build that grit. You'll build that determination, which then also in turn allows you to keep pushing forward. But you can't avoid the work forever. I've said this before. I feel that you are firmly fucking failing your family, failing your wife and your children by not doing the work that is required, by not doing what is necessary. You are failing them. Because if you're out of shape, if your health is poor, if you're not demanding greatness of yourself, you're letting them down. I know you've got a shit ton on your table. I know you do. You've got so much going on your plate. But you are the vessel, the vehicle, the tool that allows you to do all those things that provides for your family, that looks after them, that shows them how to lead a good life. You are that vessel. You can't afford for that vessel to be sloppy. You can't afford for that vessel to be lazy. You can't afford to be anything less than your greatest version. And no, that's not going to happen overnight. No, that's not going to be easy. No, that's not going to be a simple, quick turnaround. It's going to require continuous effort. It's going to require continually showing up. It's going to require that you do the work. And yeah, you might have to give up a few things that don't actually serve you. But to then have the life that you do want, to then have everything you do want from that, everything in your life will get better once you undertake becoming the best version of yourself, physically, then it gets mentally, then it's emotionally, then it's spiritually. You build this man that you want to be. And it happens brick by brick by brick. It happens decision by decision by decision. It happens one fucking step at a time. But you've got to start taking those steps. You've got to start doing that work to get you to that situation. But if you're continuing to stay exactly where you are and you hate it, and you know that you aren't living up to what your family deserve, how can you be okay with that choice? How can you be okay with continuing to make those choices if you hate where you are? if you aren't the best version of yourself for your family, if you aren't stepping up every single day and demanding more of yourself, it's not easy, but it's what is required. And I had this comment on one of my videos the other day, and they were like, it's a great speech, and I truly mean that, but it's not that simple for a lot of guys. And I'm like, it's not. Well, it's not that easy. It is that simple. But this is worth it. No, it is difficult. It is hard. It does require discipline and grit and determination and effort and focus and giving up things. And there are going to be plenty of fucking days where you don't want a bar of that, where you don't want to participate in that, and you have to show the fuck up anyway and do what is required. Yeah, it is going to be taxing. Yeah, it is going to require more of you than you think it should. But that's why it's greatness. It's why it's leaving mediocrity behind. It's why it's stepping out from the norm. Because, well, look at the norm. Look at the average dad. Look at the average business owner. Look at these guys. You don't want to be in the same category as them. You want to be above them. You want to be the best version of this. You want to step the fuck up. That's what's required. That's what's necessary, is that you stop giving in to your, well, carnal desires, your simple desires, your desire to stay comfortable. You have to make definitive choices in this life to start stepping towards the things that matter. And look, once you start working out, once you start getting into great shape, once you start taking those steps forward, it'll be easier. That first step's going to fucking suck. I'm not going to lie to you. It is going to be really difficult. But it'll get better, and it'll get better, and it'll get better. And there will still be days where you don't want to, but you'll have built enough momentum. You'll built enough habits that you'll just start to override those. And even though there'll be days that you don't want to, you'll start showing up anyway. You'll continue to, well, step up and be the guy that you know you should be. And that's all a part of it. But until you undertake that, until you make a really hard and fast decision about, well, the man and the life that you want to lead, you'll forever stay stuck as a victim. As I said, if you have the knowledge or the capacity to gain the knowledge to change your life, to change your physique, to change the things that you aren't happy with, and you choose not to, that's on you. That becomes your fault. That becomes your problem. That if your life is not the way you want it to be, if you are unhappy with it, and you continue to make the choice to stay there, that is your fault. And that's a hard thing to hear. And I've been there. I've been that dude. I have been the guy who chose to be a victim. I was like, man, my life is not going my way. None of this is working out my way. And yet I refused to do the things I knew would progress me forward. Refused to do the things that would put me, well, towards the life that I wanted. I refused to do them. And then would whinge about how nothing in my life changed. And would whinge how I'm still stuck in that same place, doing the same shit, living the same way. That's my fault. And it took a lot. As I said, it's hard. It's really fucking hard to change on such a grandiose scale that you become a different person. That is difficult shit. It's worthwhile shit. It's required shit. But it's difficult nonetheless. But you have to take that step forward. But also, you don't have to do it on your own. In fact, I would encourage you. Obviously, I'm going to say that I have the answers for you and I can shortcut you through it, and I do, and I could get this done in a time frame that you wouldn't believe, but also just find someone. The reason why you pay someone is to shortcut it. The reason why you pay someone is to, well, skip all the mistakes. It took me a long ass time to figure this shit out. It did. It took me multiple rounds. It took years of knowledge and learning and stuff like that. Or you can get into my program and I can transform your life like that. That's not a joke. If you commit and you do what I say and you follow through, and I'll hold you accountable, I'll give you that love, I'll hold you to that fucking standard. You do that shit in no time flat. And I do mean no time flat. I had one client who lost 20 kilos in 6 weeks. 20 kilos in 6 weeks. On average, my clients lose 7 to 14 kilos in the first 6 weeks. We can turn it around like you wouldn't believe. We can get you into the best shape of your life while making you the best man, the best version of yourself. One with grit and discipline and focus and drive and determination and follow through and all those kinds of things. The things that you pride yourself on. You know who I help? I help entrepreneurial fathers match the view they have of themselves with the man in the mirror. So that man in the mirror matches who you believe you are and can be. Because you can be that guy. You just have to make the decision to become that guy. And then you have to keep making that decision over and over and over again. You have the capacity to have everything you want. You just have to make that decision. So if you're finally fucking ready to stop being a victim, to gain the knowledge, to get the assistance, to be held accountable, and get incredible fucking results, and make sure that who you see in the mirror matches who you envision yourself being. If you're ready for that shit, click the link in my bio. Let's get you into demanding greatness, and let's see who you can become on the other side of that. I look forward to seeing you then.